Good morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you're watching this. I'm your host, Leafy Potato, and welcome to another NRTS 1v1 cast. I am sure that every single time that I boot up one of these replays to cast over, my voice is somehow different from the last. Here, ladies and gentlemen, we have a match going to be played between Rockstarz and SunnySide, two of our favorites here on this channel, both very, very strong players. SunnySide, king of defense, Rockstarz, up-and-coming, oh my gosh, Croatian, that's the one, Croatian, hotshot. I used to call that the Serbian flag, and I'm sure that offended quite a few Croatians and Serbians, but I think it's a compliment, though, because I quite like both flags. So, yeah, there's that. Anyways, Hidden Valley is the map of choice. We have SunnySide playing as the orange commander here against Rockstarz playing against the purple commander. I don't know if I've made this opinion known before, but I quite dislike purple on Hidden Valley, and you might wonder why that is. It has prime access to the middle of the map, and generally speaking, is very open. That's also kind of a downside, though. A matchup like purple-yellow, as you'll see, I lose quite often. Yellow, if they get any sort of decent mobility options, could just keep purple off of all of their farms. It's just kind of terrible. In any case, we have purple-orange here. Purple-orange is actually not terrible for purple. The main front line between the two players is quite open, which allows purple to make their numbers actually matter in defense. It's not very choked off at all. Purple does have more immediate access to the middle of the map, though orange does have decent chances to get the farms over there and thus start making static defense. So it's not so cut and dry. Purple usually ends up with decent claims to yellow and blue's farms, as we see a skirmish firing up here at this forward farm. Rockstar is going to take it. Not unreasonable for purple to take the low ground farm. If they can take the high ground farms, they're probably winning, but yeah, Sunny's going to contest that, get it really low, make it so that not very much can be done with the farm. We'll lose a militia for the privilege, but honestly, it's about an even trade. We can pick off that farm pretty easily later, just to remove 8 eco, force the opponent to buy it again. Sunny's still trying to fight in here. Rockstar's having higher numbers. Sunny will be taking decent damage here, but does manage to get the farm, gets a nice hit on the tower as well. Buildings taking triple damage when they're not fully built does mean that that tower is minus 12 HP. Joy. Okay, Sunny taking farms over near blue, sort of to be expected. Or not blue, green. I don't know my colors, ladies and gentlemen. As we have both players stalling out at about 8 militia here, both trying to use their workers to their fullest potential, will mean that the front lines will remain pretty stagnant here with 8 militia forming up for both players. Neither of them being in a decent position to get a house. You see Sunny spending $50 on upgrading his command center just to get that much more eco. And we see Rockstar's, of course, he's already made a tower, which, yeah, there's that. Also opts to upgrade his command center. Towers, $25, 6 power. The power really matters more than the cost, though the cost really matters. Your first generator timing can kind of throw off your entire build if you have to make one before your opponent. We see SunnySide with the quick draw on that first house. I say quick draw. It's not going to be done until over 3 minutes into this game, but it is quicker than Rockstar's by virtue of Rock having to get a tower first. Rock will claim the middle of the map's farms, which is a decent enough claim for him. They are deceptively difficult to hold, though, as they're... The choke going through the middle is pretty easy to tower, at least to like get some damage going on things passing through them, but the farms on the outskirts, very difficult to hold. Very difficult to hold. So we'll probably see Sunny end up hitting some of the farms in the middle across this game and opening up a second front, since the main front has already been towered here from Rockstar's. Sunny should probably have more offensive pressure, just given that Rock has had to make a tower, or not had to make a tower, has opted to make a tower. I say that, Sunny making a tower over near the yellow-blue farms, he's trying to keep Rock off of some of what would otherwise rightfully be his farms. I think that's a reasonable thing to do as SunnySide, trying to sneak by Rock's tower to get farm damage done. I don't think he's got that much of an advantage in terms of militia, but he can probably take an okay-ish fight, provided that he doesn't just choke on a farm this entire time. Okay, 1 farm kill, not bad, but now we're kind of between a rock and a hard place. We might be able to escape here with the entire militia force, but... or at least with some of the militia force, but it's going to be a fighting retreat, and as Rockstarz is closer to his command center, he'll be having freshly rallied militia coming forward. Yeah, Sunny basically needs to move now. And we see Sunny's already taken a loss, so is Rock. Just brutal fighting here. Rockstar is not quite able to form up his entire militia force. Sunny keeping his militia stagnant, though. Not ideal. We might have to rally in a couple of fresh militia as Sunny just to get this pocket out, because they are quite damaged. We see Rockstar's rallying new militia over. Now, Rock's flank militia are damaged pretty well as well, so they will be dying pretty quickly. But Sunny, most of his militia, at least missing a quarter of their HP, won't be able to stand up to freshly rallied militia. Okay, Rockstar's in decent macro position. We see Sunny moving around with his worker around yellow-blue, trying to take more of Rockstar's farms. Rock opting to just make some more houses, and will have a unit producing structure on the field as well, as his 4th house is complete. A vehicle depot is up. Great, you love to see it. Sunny, though, has quite a bit of farming income, and that's not just the position looking really good for him. He actually does have more farms, and also has farms that he can reasonably claim here. The farms over towards blue are going to be harder for Rockstars to get to. Rock could push through the middle, but as soon as he does, then he kind of abandons his tower, and that can get nasty. But with the first vehicle depot unit out on the field, we should see Rock with some advantage, also having the extra 2 houses over Sunny, who has been going for towers, who has placed down his generator a little earlier. First unit out of the depot will be a Jeep. Makes sense, you have a lot of militia, we just want to make them a little bit better. We're going to be able to use our militia now, both to harass the enemy and also to join back up with our main force if we need to fight. We see a vehicle depot across the map now from Sunny, over near the 2 farms between blue and yellow. Interesting position. I don't hate it, though, because Rock, in order to strike at that vehicle depot, you do have to contribute quite a few units across the map opposite of your main front. So while Sunny's defense over there doesn't look that great, it's not terrible either. Be curious to see what the first unit out of here is. We see Rock continuing to go for his housing. We see Sunny upgrading his farms. Seems like power is more of a constraint for Sunny than population at this point. Rockstars will be able to just mass militia, though, in the face of Sunny, and this could be dangerous. We have 2 militia jeeps roaming around the map now. We see a recon here, supported by 2 towers. It should have a decent time running away from militia jeep and just trying to keep damage off of it, just poking at farms wherever he can. Sunny losing the farms around Green's territory. You sort of expect this, but Rockstars is going to be hard-pressed to hold them at all, right? Retaking the farms over near Green is pretty much not going to be an option unless Rockstars completely ignores the thorn that Sunny's got with this vehicle depot over here. Second tower placed next to the vehicle depot should make it pretty difficult to take down. Another recon will be queued up. I imagine Sunny's, working on his 3rd house now. Actually, 4th house. My bad, I didn't catch the 3rd. As I take a sip of my tea, because it's tea time, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so Rockstar's reducing Sunny's farm advantage pretty much entirely. Having the higher mobility force usually does that. You get to dislocate your opponent from their farms, and then you just have more than them. That said, though, while this doesn't look great for Sunny, it's not great for Rock either, because Sunny has basically taken all of Rock's easy-to-defend farms. Again, the ones near yellow and blue that are usually purples in this matchup. Sunny's got them. He's got them fortified. He's got recons over there. And we see Rockstars mis-rallying his militia force, and Sunny just clamps down on that. That is not what you want to see, ladies and gentlemen. Certainly Rock's not lost, but that's a nice break for Sunny, who has lost a lot of his farms. Of course, Rockstars does have a higher eco right now, so taking losses like that isn't going to be as terrible. He's got more houses, he's got more farms. Militia are hard to replace, though. You can't very easily get them back just because of how long they take to produce. They are the fastest producing unit in the game, but you really need to have them at mass to get much done. Mercifully, this is about the point in the game where militia start to be less relevant. Not irrelevant, mind you, just less relevant. Once we have tier 1 units out in decent numbers, we're going to start having light tanks come out onto the field. As we see right there, Rockstar is getting one just to help stave off the militia pressure here from SunnySide. Now that Rock is down in terms of militia, he can't really take an even fight. We'll rally the light tank over to take a less even fight. We see Sunny losing 2 militia for the privilege of picking off a farm. Not a terrible trade. You sort of wish for a little bit more, but Honestly, not bad. We see 4 recons going around harassing some of Rockstar's farms closer to home. I imagine Sunny, in an ideal world, would love to start chewing away at some of these houses, but that's a little optimistic. He has decent route to get towards the middle with his recons, and he has enough recons that Militia Jeep really would rather not fight it, because if you're fighting in the Jeeps, you're risking losing all of your troops, and if you're fighting out of the Jeeps, then you're taking bonus damage from the recons, so ultimately, yeah. We see Rock trying to maneuver his 3 Militia Jeeps into a position where it can fight 5 recons, and while the recons are damaged from Sunny, they are not damaged nearly enough for those Militia Jeeps to really pull their weight. Okay, so we see some of the difficulties with using Militia Jeep in Tier 1 fights. I like to call the Jeep the Tier 0.5 unit. It is the Tier 0.5 unit, as all it does is serve to make your militia better, which is great. They are still militia, though, and ultimately, when you're fighting with Militia Jeep, you're fighting with militia. So everything that you would want to use against the guys, whether they be recons, choppers, tanks, etc., still work well against Jeeps. The only difference is that with the Jeeps, they can run away. Okay, choppers out now for Rockstarz. We are having a... I guess I'll call it the Neapolitan composition. We've got infantry, we've got ground vehicles, and we've got air vehicles. Joy. We have a nice variety going on now in this mid-game. Chopper is going to be used as the main force to skirmish with the opponent. Militia Jeep, just going to be used to transport his militia around. Ideally, you use the choppers and the militia together, but that's, of course, ideal. We see mass recons from SunnySide. He's been sacrificing a lot of houses to get these recons out, but at this point, the recons have at least held the yellow-blue plateau, will begin to get house damage done. We're going to see, yeah, Rock is going to pinch back here with his Jeeps, wants to keep Sunny from getting house damage. I really think you just stand and fight there as Sunny, honestly. Because three Militia Jeeps ain't winning against 9 recons. I'm sorry, I don't think that math works out. Maybe you lose a recon or 2, and you'd rather not, but, I mean, ultimately, getting those 2 houses is a pretty nice pick. You lose a recon and you get 2 houses, you're still the winner of that fight. Okay. Vehicle Depot going to town. Most all of Sunny's eco is being just funneled into recons right now. As you can clearly see, militia production had been slacking for a decent bit. He will be back on militia production now. We see choppers trying to go around and potentially harass away some of these farms that Sunny's trying to take. Sunny, with a decent pullback from his recons, will not be losing his forward farm. Will give himself time to tower it as well if he so chooses. Farms in the middle for Rockstar is all but gone. Pretty much his entire eco is houses now, which is something that you expect in a transition to late game, as it's kind of hard to hold the map until you have really good units, and a lot of them, and or mass towers, which costs a lot. And so we see Sunny housing up as well, in decent position to start taking some of these farms. He has the farms between blue and green on the high ground, so that's good. Overall, getting an extra 48 eco from holding this high ground here, not bad at all. Basically allows him to kickstart his housing just that much faster, given that now we're in the 13-minute mark in this game. That eco is not insignificant, for sure. Essentially 5 houses. If y'all want to count the amount of times that I sip tea in my recordings, I might pin a comment who can accurately describe to me how many times I picked up and sat down my tea glass. It really is just a coffee mug, but I digress. We see quite a concerning amount of light tanks out here from Rockstarz, considering that there is almost nothing in the way of static defense here from SunnySide. We have a tower at home, and we're about to have 4 light tanks and mass militia, make that 5 light tanks and mass militia crash down on this force. I would be a little concerned as Sunny. We have recons. Recons don't trade that well into tanks, but we have so many of them that it probably isn't an issue. Yeah, we see a light tank out from Sunny now, but Rock is still in a decent position. Like, okay, yeah, there's static defense in this position, but there is a tower for Rockstarz, which basically means nothing at this point in the game. And Sunny's got nothing holding the high ground outside of his militia, provided that Rock decides he wants to move forward. Yeah, we see towers now from Sunny. He's scared. He notices that there's a death ball on his door. This single tower I don't think is going to do all that much. We see the light tank and recons try to poke forward at one of Rockstar's farms, tries to catch his army between both of SunnySide's formations. We have 2 extra light tanks rallying to this front, and we see Rockstar's again poking forward towards his tower. It seems like he wants to prepare some sort of push here as he notices that Sunny is massing troops. And yeah, here we go, moving forward. Don't really have that much of a battle line now, but arguably you don't even need it, really. We have Militia Jeep pushing with these tanks. The tanks are just going to start melting Militia. We have upgrading towers to give them that much more HP. We see the Militia just taking a fight in front of the towers. I really think you'd want to have it behind the towers, but I mean, what do I know? Sunny's a better player than me. We have Rockstarz just crushing through the front line. We see Tank Recon on the back line trying to get somewhere, stalled in Rock's territory for a little bit. And here we are, Rockstarz is basically on the command center. We have 1 tower helping to fire away. We have the recons and the light tanks from Sunny on the back trying to get to this fight. And they finally do. They're getting some damage done, but Rock is already on top of the command center, and, I mean, tanks just do so much damage. Is there any way that Sunny can actually win this fight? Ladies and gentlemen, the answer is no. What a game from Rockstarz. Oh my gosh, what a game from Sunny as well. That position was precarious. I mean, if Rock had failed that kill, if Rock had even chosen not to go for that kill, that game was going to start being Sunny favored all the way. I mean, that front line, if he can hold the front line against Rockstarz and then just push from the yellow angle, it's so hard. It's so hard once upgraded vehicles are out to fight in 2 places at once, and Sunny has the easy side of that. TLDR, beautiful positional play from Sunny, just fell susceptible to the tactic from Rockstarz. Had some tanks, had some militia, lack of static defense, just go, kill him. Basically a chopper dive minus the choppers. In any case, ladies and gentlemen, if you've watched all the way to the end of this video, I'd like to thank you very much for your attention. It means quite a bit to me. Remember to like and subscribe because I am greedy and need all of those numbers to go up. And comment what your favorite pair of shoes is, if you have one. In any case, I hope that you have a wonderful day, and remember, stay classy.